Hey guys, I'm out here in the shop. I put a Atlas throttle lock, the newer variant. Guess they had a original one only had one button. I had done a previous video. It's been a couple years ago, I think. There was a throttle lock called the Go Cruise and Go Cruise 2, which was an adjustable version. And I had used that and it works. It was the one that clamps over your grip and you push it down. Once you get your throttle where you want it, you push it down with your index finger until it touches your brake lever. So basically your brake lever is what holds your throttle at that position. The problem though is since I added these bar end mirrors to my 900, there's really not a lot of room in there for your hand, and it really just takes up too much of the grip. And I saw a YouTube video about this Atlas throttle lock and thought, you know what, that might actually work really well because it doesn't take up any of your grip real estate. Apologize in advance, my forward-facing camera is not working on this phone. So I have to use this one facing me. But let me see if I can turn it and show it to you. See, this is where the old one would go over this rubber banded area right here. And as you can see, this Atlas, it's pretty much flush with this grip flange. And you can see here how it's got this pad, this rubber pad in here. And when you press this button right here, it pushes it out against the switch housing and holds the throttle wherever you want it. And this thing's pretty well made. It's all stainless steel, so it's actually you know, kind of heavy for what it is, but you know, probably lasts a long time. And I mean, it's very solid on there. It's basically a clamp that has some small teeth on it where it actually clamps onto the throttle tube. And that's basically what's holding it on there. But like, as you can see, I'm trying to move it side to side and it's very solid. And so I'm planning on using this in conjunction with my cramp buster. I've had this one, gosh, probably goes back to the mid-90s. Been using it a long time. It's been through a pretty significant bike wreck. It's got some scratches on it here. But there's two different versions of this. There's one where this part of it mounts on top, and there's another one where it mounts on the bottom. I had to go with the top mount because, as you can see, I have the Oxford heated grips, so this would interfere with if this piece was on the bottom. Plus, you got a little bit of interference here when you go to full lock on the bars. So I didn't want that extra part down there. But let me see if I can. It's kind of hard for me to see what I'm videoing here. So what you do is you get your throttle where you want it, and you press that button, and it locks it in place. Now you can still manually roll the throttle off, if you were to have an emergency or whatever. Or you just hit this top button and it snaps it back off. So it seems to work really well. I have read where people have had issues with this pad deteriorating over time. So time will tell on that. I suppose you could probably find something similar at the hardware store for pretty cheap. These are easy to take on and off, so it's something that you could just replace. But I think it's going to work really well as a throttle lock, just to use, since this bike doesn't have cruise. For instance, we just did a 3-day motorcycle trip up into central Tennessee. I think it was 912 miles total for the 3 days. So a lot of time in the saddle, and how it is, every so often you just want to give your right hand a break, and unless you have some kind of a throttle lock, there's really no way of doing that. So I'm really interested to take it out for a spin and see how it does. And I'll post another video once I do that and let you know what my findings are as far as how well it works. I'm feeling that it's probably going to work really well because most of the other reviews that I've seen have all been good. I heard one reviewer was complaining that the speed was increasing with the throttle lock on. I was like, well, it's probably because you're going downhill. Of course the bike's going to accelerate. Same thing going uphill, you're going to lose a little speed because this doesn't compensate for those kinds of things. But the good part is that even though it's locked, you can still move it a little bit, such as when you're going uphill, if you want to apply a little bit more throttle, or if you get on a long downhill, you can kind of let off of it a little bit manually and take your hand off and it'll still hold it at that speed as long as you have it in the on position. But, you know, just initially here, the build quality is really good. Now, that having been said, it is pricey. I mean, it's over $100. But you know what? If it works really well, I think it's money well spent. You know, I'm 50. Some of these longer rides, I'm like, I really don't have arthritis so much, but my hand really does start getting a little bit sore. So it'll be nice being able to, you know, give my right hand a rest periodically. And I will say I added a Heel Tech quick shifter to this bike. And shout out to Frontline for all of his write-ups on that quick shifter thread that he commented on several times. And I basically mounted it the same way he did, putting the sensor on the shift rod and going in and eliminating it performing the clutchless downshifts, because I like to rev match when I'm doing downshifts and use the clutch also. And hey, it works great. I'm still kind of fine-tuning it a little bit, but I mean, it works. And I definitely noticed after this three-day trip that my clutch hand was much better. It just, you know, we probably hit thousands of curves, all those loops that we did up there. And, you know, I didn't use it all the time, but when we were, you know, really getting with the program, I was using it a lot. And, you know, so I probably only used my clutch hand half as much as I would normally do without that quick shifter. And I noticed it, you know, at the end of the day. I didn't have any issues with my left hand whatsoever. And oddly enough, people always ask me with this bike about the OEM seat. I still have the OEM seat on here. And, you know, honestly, yeah, you get a little bit of sore here and there, but I don't know, when you're on those killer back roads, you know, I'm really not concentrating on that. When we get in like a long stretch, you know, like if we hit the interstate for a portion of our route, it kind of starts taking its toll on you. I have noticed wearing like a full riding suit. I don't know if it's just like the additional padding or what it is compared to just like wearing blue jeans or something. It's not as noticeable. I have considered doing the Louis Moto gel insert and maybe one of their seat covers. But, you know, I go on these long rides and I really never have an issue with getting too uncomfortable. So I don't know if I really want to spend the money on that or not. Plus, I'm kind of thinking about getting a Ninja 1000. So I don't know how much longer I'll have this bike. So we'll see. But anyway, for those people that do have a Z900 and have been thinking about some kind of a throttle lock, I'd take a look at this Atlas. It's pretty cool. Doesn't take up any grip real estate. Not really a whole lot of room there anyway, especially when I have my, I've got those Nox Handroid gloves. They're like Terminator hands. They're very gaudy and just really don't have a whole lot of room here with the bar and mirror right there. So I really like this option where it, throttle lock doesn't take up any grip space. So anyway, more to come later. I'll get a good ride in here in the next couple days, or maybe this coming weekend, and do a follow-up and let you guys know how it worked out. All right, peace.